All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I want to welcome any new subscribers, if there are any. I think there are, I'm not sure. So we're going to start another project here, and it's another Kuksa project, and hopefully I'm not going to bore you guys too much with Kuksas. I try to add a lot of variety if I can, or some variety. But I had this nice piece of mulberry donated to me sometime last year from a friend of mine that I met through Instagram. And he donated some mulberry and some black walnut, and I still have this fairly big piece of mulberry, and I said, you know, I'll try to make a Kuksa from this, or at least two if I can. So that's what we're going to get started on today, and it's going to be a similar start to the walnut Kuksa that I did, where I'm just going to kind of start the process and kind of document it for myself and for you guys, and to continue this learning journey as us carvers, at least what I like to call a learning journey, I guess. You guys can come along for the ride, and I hope you get some value from it. I know I always do. But before we cut off here, I want to show just a really quick update on the Kuksa to kind of show you guys where we're at. And I think this is where we ended off, and it's been doing pretty good. Oops, sorry. I think it's doing pretty decent. My lighting in here is horrible. Sorry, guys. I do not see any cracks developing, which is great. I still have to let this dry a little bit more and hollow out the inside of the bowl, and I think we'll be good to go from there. So I just wanted to show you that, but also another piece that I did off camera is this little funky scoop that I made. It's kind of like a Kuksa with very low side walls here, and this actually holds, believe it or not, about a cup of dry measure, and I may wind up hollowing out a little bit material out here, but I just wanted to show this real quick. It's a really nice piece. It's black walnut. Again, lighting in here is horrible. Apologize. So it's kind of a cool, huge scoop. So, yeah. So just give me a second here. I'm going to set this up a little bit better, and I'll just kind of guide you through what I'm going to be working on next. All right? Be right back. All right, we're back. So basically, I'm going to use the axe, and I'm going to try to get this as smooth as possible. And I may move over to the draw knife, or to the shave horse and the draw knife, and plane it out a little bit more if I have to. And I mean, it's pretty good, but there's still a little unevenness that I need to get out before I draw my template on there. So I'm just going to use the axe here. Turn this sucker around. Very carefully try to flatten this out. Stuff's getting pretty dry, so I figured I was really afraid to use this wood because it's so beautiful, but as I've made a couple more pieces, I've gotten to learn not to get too attached to the wood itself, and that you know, just you just got to do what you got to do, carve, and the piece turns out good. It turns out good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, it's not the end of the world. So before it becomes too unworkable, might be getting there though. I don't know. Man, I did hone this blade the other day, or yesterday. It's pretty sharp. I mean, kind of skipping off. So, oh man. So I'm going to fight through this here off camera, and when I'm done flattening this down, I'll be right back and show you the next step. All right, be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So I got this as flat as I could, and I kind of roughly drew it out before I did this kind of permanent, I guess, drawing. And I didn't see that I could actually make two kuksas out of this, and I'm kind of disappointed. Maybe if I made them a little bit smaller, but you have to account for the handle, and you have to think about how long you want the handle. And this is all part of the, I guess, the beginning stages of the process and when you create a project, you know. So I just kind of wanted to, you know, document this to show you sometimes some of the struggles that you may face when you're trying to design a project. And it might be a simple design with maybe just a straight handle or something, but it's still, you know, part of the process. And to me, it's interesting. So I can always refer back to this video and hopefully provide in some way some kind of instruction for people in the future. Again, if you guys get anything out of this, I really hope you do. So this is what we have. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an inner circle. You could do this with a compass. I tend to do it freehand. You know, this I used this bowl that I got at the thrift store, and just a simple circle, nothing fancy. Let me see something here. Yeah, nothing fancy. And now I'm just going to freehand draw the inner diameter. And just a quick tip, this is actually something, when you do this enough times, when you freehand the inner circle instead of using a compass, you actually, at least in my experience, I've found that it's actually helped me not really draw circles, but help me with drawing handles. I mean, I am not an illustrator by any sense. I've explained this or mentioned this a bunch of times, but it actually allowed me to keep a more steady hand when making longer handles for cooking spoons and things like that. So that is a tip that maybe that will help you if you're struggling with spoon designs or designs in general, or trying to do some kind of freehand creation. So I'm just going to show this on camera, and I'm going to show you what I do here. The great thing about this particular project is, well, I'm trying to not think of the hard work, because this wood's fairly dry, which is not going to be fun to carve into. And this is not going to be perfect, and I think that's okay. It's great to not be perfect. And the inner bowl, it's going to be a little thick from here to here. Maybe that's about 1/4 inch. In my case, I like to leave it a little bit thick, just in case, as I'm getting pretty much finished, if I want to make make this a little bit thinner as far as the wall thickness, I can. If I don't want to, I can just leave it as it is. All right, so that's what we have there. I just did a quick freehand. Again, it's not perfect. I'm okay with that. I like imperfection. It adds variety. It doesn't look like too much like a machine made it. So that's how I kind of lay out the bowl. This is a pretty simple design. Now is a tricky part. I just have to figure out, get the center here, and just kind of draw a straight line through. And I guess I'll do this on camera. Hopefully this isn't too boring. There isn't going to be probably too much carving here today. But come on. Yeah, so this is how I do it. This is very crude. This is not perfect. I just take a straight edge, and I just kind of get the length here. It's 4 inches by, I think it's 4 by 4. So I just try as best I can mark the center. Again, not perfect. It's not really something that I could have just did 2 inches. What the hell am I doing here, guys? Hopefully you can see this. 2 inches here. I'm going to, and that's good enough for me. This just is a guide, and this kind of, hopefully you can see this here. That line going through will help me just with the handle. I am not sure what I'm going to do for a handle. So let me just off camera think about it real quick. It's probably going to be something very simple, but just give me 1 second and I'll be right back, all right? All right, guys, I'm back. So hopefully you can see here. So this is just really bad. It's not perfect, but I drew, there's 2 lines here, but I drew a center line, and that's just really a guide to really just kind of get some semblance of something, of, you know, kind of getting like a straight line or something. And right now, as I'm talking, I'm just kind of freehand drawing the handle. So I made 2 lines here. You go up as high as long as you want the handle. I think I went up to 2 inches here and then 2.5 inches. So I'm kind of on this like angled handle thing here, I guess, with 2 angles and then just kind of the handle. So that little 1/2 inch is just allowing me to get those 2 angles to go out, and then I can just freehand the handle. So let me see here. I don't know how exactly I want it to look. That's kind of the tricky part sometimes. Let's see, that doesn't look too bad. I think that'll look cool. Have a little curve there. It's a little uneven, but that's okay. I don't mind that. So, doing a lot of this processing work on camera here. Just a little different take on it. This is going to be several parts, of course, to this Kuksa. It's not perfect, but okay. Kind of have a different. There we go. Guess that'll be good enough here. All right, so that's in general how that's going to look, subject to change, of course. Hopefully you can see. Where is it at here? Put it this way. So yeah, all right, yeah, that looks pretty decent. And it's, now that I look at it on camera, it's actually not bad. So, what do I want to do? I mean, look at all of this material here needs to be saved. I mean, this is not waste at all. I need to, I mean, I'm looking at this here. I can even do like a mini, geez, that can even be a mini. We'll see. This might wind up being like a coffee scooper, maybe 2. We'll have to see here. All right. Well, you know what? Let me pause it here, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just start doing a little bit of adze work here in the center, just to kind of get that started here. So bear with me. Be right back. All right, I'm back. So, let's see here. I really hope that you will be able to see some of this work. I always say this. Just look really quick here. All right, that's good. Cool. So we're just going to do some adze work here, and I'm going to do this now because just thinking really quickly is, and again, this may change too, is that, you know, this can't be waste. You know, I have to save this. There's a lot more pieces I can get out of this top section here. So while I still have it attached, I can use it to safely remove as much material as I can from the bowl before I move on to other tools probably tomorrow. So do the same thing. Hopefully this isn't too boring. Similar to the work. walnut Kuksa. So this wood's a little bit harder, a little bit drier. I'm actually having a hard time seeing this here. Here we go. Might help me a little bit. I think the technique that I saw on YouTube is you don't want to use the adze like an axe or a hatchet. You kind of grip it lower, and you kind of have a more looser grip, I guess. That's at least what I've seen. It seems to work a little bit better. And I got to really watch here, man. Ooh. Let's see if this will work here. And this is kind of working. It worked a little better on the walnut wood, because that was green. This stuff is dry now. Wow. Whew, man. Trying to get the best angles here. This is really bad. Oh my God. We'll just call it part of the learning process with lighting, right? Oh man, this is bad. This is helpful with the adze, even just to do this little bit. This at least gets me started, at least. Somewhat. And this adze isn't really the best quality, like I mentioned. I think I mentioned this before. So... All right, so I'm going to keep doing that just for a little bit, not too long. I don't want to bore you with everything. I can't really, well, maybe you can see it. So just give me like a few seconds here, and I'll be right back, and I'll show you the progress that I made with the adze. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, guys, I'm back. So this will actually be just pretty much the end of the video. This is where I got so far with the adze. This wood is dry, but also I think it's more indicative of my adze isn't super sharp, and I need to get a better quality adze. So maybe when I do some festivals this year, I'll be able to make some money to buy a good quality adze. In some ways, this hobby just pretty much pays for itself. In some aspects, I do get free wood, which is great. However, some of the tools you have to buy to make nice products are expensive, so that kind of eats into the cost of any earnings I get at any festival, if I even sell anything. So this is part one. I hope it's not too boring. I will say, if you guys have stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. I really do. This is just kind of my process of doing things, and to show you a lot of the work that goes into making it. Of course, many of you know if you carve. If you guys have any suggestions on a type of wood that you want to see, I'll tell you what I have available. I have black walnut, I have some elm, I have silver birch, I do have some pear left, Bradford pear. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I do have some staghorn sumac. So if there's anything, if you want to suggest anything, a particular species of wood that you want to see me work on next, please let me know. Please comment. Otherwise, I'll just make a decision on my own and create stuff as I normally do. But I do appreciate the comments and the support. I really do. So thanks for sticking around. This is part one of the Mulberry Kuksa project. And you know, we'll see where this leads us, and I appreciate it. All right, catch you on the next video, guys. See you later.